If you don't want to sit here next year feeling stuck and disappointed because you didn't make time for the things you've been dreaming about, then it's time to change something. In 2023, I made a decision that felt both exciting and terrifying. Well, actually, mainly terrifying. Because to focus deeply on my creativity, I had no other choice than to step back from running my successful video agency. What the f? I did not have a plan. But I couldn't spend another year wondering what if, because after years of creating for others, I'd lost my creative voice and I somehow had to find it back. It hasn't been easy, but it's been worth it. Looking back now, I'm starting to see what I was searching for all along. That creative voice, it was never lost, you know. I just had to find me again, because that's where my creativity lives. If you've been feeling stuck creatively, maybe it's time to take your own leap. But just know that no one can guarantee that it won't hurt a little. Today I'm sharing what last year taught me and why this could be your most creative year yet. So why would you want a creative year? Well, I believe that there might be something life-changing about working on what truly matters to you. It might be different for everyone else, but for me it really is. And for me, dedicating time to passion projects, it just brought me so much personal growth. And in less than a year, I've gained much more confidence, much more trust in myself. And I'm just really feeling a much stronger connection to who I am. Not too long ago, I had something what most people would consider as a dream career. I co-founded a creative video agency together with my best friend. But as the business was growing, so did all the responsibilities. We had more clients, more management, also more deadlines. And what started as a pursuit of creativity for me became something totally different. So when I chose to quit the agency, I didn't have a grand vision or a grand plan. I was actually on a really low point in my life. I just felt one thing really deep, and that was that I needed to create space for creativity again. So I gave myself a challenge. 1 year to focus on creative growth. And with my creative year, I decided to prioritize passion projects. Of course, I still had to pay bills, so I did freelance work just enough to get by, but the rest of the time, that was mine. Your version of the creative year might look totally different than mine. You know, maybe it's finally starting on a YouTube channel for you that you've been dreaming about, or spending more time on photography, painting, whatever makes you feel alive. But I think the most important part is deciding to prioritize creativity and making room for it in your life. And that is something you can do right now. And I think you should. Of course, this is just my experience, but one of the hardest things about starting a creative journey is, well, you probably guess it, starting. When I sat down to work on my first personal project, I was overwhelmed by all the things that I wanted to do. I wanted to give YouTube another try again. I wanted to create a short film. I wanted to do all these small interviews with the people on the streets. I don't know, the possibilities were endless. So instead of feeling inspired, I completely froze. So what helped me in the end was simplifying it. I really picked the smallest project there was, and I focused on just finishing that. And I really think that taking that small step put me to the next step and the next and the next. And now 1 year later, I did all those things and even more. And I started this YouTube channel, and I'm 100% sure I could have only done this by starting small. Also, by doing these things, I really learned much more about what I wanted to do and what I wanted to focus on. The direction that I wanted to go became much clearer by just allowing myself to experiment. So if you're just starting anything, my advice would be this. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. This is one of the hardest things to do, for me as well. So let me repeat this for myself and for you.
Do not overthink it.
Yes, I did buy this thing just for this video. Then I think it's important to prioritize and have a plan. Because we all know there's never a perfect time to start. Life will always happen. And even though we know it, we still wait for something. And I always used to wait for the right moment. When work slowed down, or also when I had more energy. I was really waiting a lot for when I had more energy. But they really were just excuses. If you want this, you have to prioritize it. Now, I don't know what your life looks like and what kind of responsibilities you have, but most likely you will have to sacrifice something to make time for your creative needs. I think it's even more important to come up with a plan and talk about it with the people in your life so that they know what you're going to do, but that they also know why it's important to you, so they can support you, because I think that's really important to have the support. The bottom line is, it's your creative year, so no one else will make time for it. So you're gonna have to. Self-doubt is a subject that I talked about a lot. This is because it's been a really big subject in my life. And last year, there was a lot of self-doubt. There were so many moments when I thought, is it even worth it? What if I'm not good enough? What the hell am I doing? That critical voice in your head can be such an asshole. Those doubts never fully disappear, but over time you do get better at working through them. So they still pop up, but they just don't hold as much power as they used to. Some of my favorite projects almost didn't happen because I wanted to quit when things got tough, but I kept going, and now looking back I can really see how much growth came from pushing through those hard moments. The perfect example of this is of course my first YouTube video, where that story explains itself.
The dream was that I wanted to be a YouTuber.
Okay, so it's very obvious, but growth is a process. And the thing is, for me, I really struggle seeing that, even though I knew it. I mean, in the moment, you often just won't experience the growth. It's always like months and months later that you look back to yourself and think, wow, I actually learned something there. And I just experienced that a lot of growth can happen in just 1 year. A lot can happen in 1 year. And I would say it's also very important to remember that if it's not hard, it probably won't make you grow. It's always the hard things that make you grow, also creatively. It's fun, but it's also hard. So last year, I had this idea of making a short film by just talking with people on the streets about life and make it in a cinematic way. When I thought about this project, everything lit up in me. I was so stoked and I wrote like a treatment, I sent it to some people and I really wanted to make it. But when it was time to create it, I almost quit. I really doubted the idea. I didn't trust myself anymore, I didn't trust the idea, and I really felt that it wasn't going to work. But the thing was, I'd already asked some friends to help, so we already had picked up time and a date somewhere to film. Seriously, on the day of filming, I really felt like not doing it. Like, I really wanted to walk away. I really wanted to say to the guys, sorry guys, but I don't think it's going to work, or call in sick. But I mean, I couldn't do that because they were there. And you know what? It really turned out to be one of my favorite projects, really.
Niet met een korreltje zout nemen, jongens. Maak er het beste van het leven, want we leven maar één keer. En waardeer datgene wat je hebt als leven, in het leven. Ja. Dat kan ik je meegeven. Ja.
Making time for your own creative needs and actually creating something that was not there before, that is something to be really, really proud of. So you should be proud of yourself. No matter if your creation is perfect or a little bit less perfect, you may and you should be proud of yourself. I think it's something you can practice, and the little wins, you know, they add up and they inspire you to take the next step and the next. I mean, these are just lessons that maybe other people tell you as well, but I had to hear these lessons so many times as well to finally understand it and to finally take action and to finally feel it, you know? There's difference between just hearing somebody say it and sometimes hear it from someone that you really feel it. So I really hope that I can reach that with the videos. You don't have to quit your job or completely change your life. It could be as simple as just picking up your camera for the first time in years, or maybe start drawing or playing an instrument every evening after dinner. There's so much beauty to find in creativity, you know? Of course, everything I shared are just my thoughts about it, and I think it's important to find out what works for you, because probably different things work for different people, but it's important to find out what works for you, so you should do that by trying, I believe. And remember,
Do not overthink it.
Your creativity is worth it.